Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Survival Handbook. Today we're talking about how to get your hands on some artifacts and how to collect the materials necessary for a boss fight. For this video we'll be doing everything on the island since it's a map every player will have. Understand that this isn't a video about how to beat a specific boss or what kind of team you'll need to beat a boss. I'm only trying to teach you what you need to know in order to even get to a boss. And trust me, there's kind of a lot. If you want to grow your skills and all sorts of other ARC related stuff, subscribe now so you don't miss anything. Artifacts are special items usually found in caves that allow you to teleport or summon boss creatures that'll test your skills as a survivor and determine whether or not you're worthy of ascension. Those artifacts are then placed in an obelisk, usually in combination with creature trophies depending on the difficulty level of the boss. Basically, bosses are the last thing to do on the Ark, and ascending means getting access to tech gear, additional levels on your character, and essentially beating the game. Sometimes getting artifacts is challenging, other times it's quite simple. Nonetheless, you'll need all the artifacts on the map to properly beat that map, so you'd better prepare yourself for some difficult runs. The island is home to a grand total of 4 final bosses: the broodmother, the dragon, the megapithecus, and the overseer. Each one of these bosses requires its own set of artifacts and trophies, with the overseer actually requiring you to have already beaten the other 3 bosses before attempting to defeat it. Additionally, each boss has 3 difficulty levels: Gamma, Beta, and Alpha, with Alpha being the most difficult and most rewarding. This concept of artifacts, trophies, and difficulty levels applies to all bosses on all maps, not just the bosses on the island. If you want to beat any boss, you'll need artifacts. Preparing for and defeating bosses is probably the most difficult thing you'll do as far as PvE is concerned, and overcoming those difficulties is also one of the most rewarding things you can do. If you're in the mid-game, it's definitely time to start thinking about collecting artifacts. Fortunately for you, I've got a plan. The very first thing you should do when you're preparing to beat a boss is to research that boss. Not necessarily strategies or guides on how to beat the boss, although that would probably be a good idea, but I mean, like, what artifacts do you need? What trophies do you have to collect in order to teleport? This information is easily found on the Arc Wiki and is honestly probably the best Arc resource I could ever recommend to you. If you don't feel like using the Arc Wiki for whatever reason, just walk up to an obelisk and hover over these boss icons to find out specifically what you need for that boss. For example, the broodmother needs 1 artifact of the clever, 1 artifact of the hunter, and 1 artifact of the massive. Additionally, it needs some creature trophies for difficulties over Gamma, because for some reason flexing for the obelisk makes a boss appear. Anyway, we'll need some Argentavis talons, Sarco skin, sauropod vertebra, and Titanoboa venom for the broodmother. Collecting the trophies is as simple as killing the creature in the trophy name. For example, killing Brontos and Diplos gives you a chance to collect sauropod vertebra. Alright, so you know what artifacts and trophies you need. Now it's time to go out and get them. There are coordinates for each cave entrance on the wiki page, and you'll definitely need them. It's pretty much as simple as finding the cave and beating it. And by beating it, I mean essentially clearing it out and grabbing the artifact. Of course, you don't have to kill everything in the cave, but I imagine it would make life pretty difficult if you just let everything roam around while you get down to business. If you find yourself dying within caves, check out my caving video for quick and easy solutions to problems within caves. Anyway, artifacts are inside these really cool looking drops that are usually pulsating with energy. You can only carry 1 artifact of the same name at a time, so if you want 3 artifacts of the hunter, you'll either have to bring an otter and load him up, or you'll have to come back to this cave another 2 times. That goes for all artifacts, but the otter is capable of carrying an unlimited number of the same artifact, so make sure you get one to save you some time in the long run. When it comes to artifacts, usually I beat the cave and make an immediate run for my base to store the artifact because, as you all know, anything can happen in Ark, and losing an artifact is a pretty major setback if you ask me. Since this is a mid-game video, and bosses are one of the last things you'll do, I recommend using your time in mid-game to slowly start accumulating the artifacts while you accomplish the other tasks you've set out to do. I don't recommend beating bosses just yet, although if you feel like you're ready, then it's worth a shot. By the time you are ready to start beating some bosses though, you'll have everything ready to go so you're not scrambling last minute to rush artifacts or trophies. As I've said in other videos, mid-game is a time where pretty much anything is possible, so setting out for these artifacts isn't that bad of an idea since you're likely feeling like you've done everything you wanted to. Or maybe not. Arc is a big game. Let me know if you have any useful tips or strategies about artifacts, caves, or bosses down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and smash like, and as always, thank you so much for your time today. We'll see you in the next video.